Welcome to the garage on Ridebuyph. As you know, usong-usong ngayon ang mga hybrid at electric vehicles. So practically, if you're gonna buy a new car today and you've got the budget, might as well get a hybrid or an EV because one, obviously tipid ka sa gasolina, and number two, coding exempt ka. Now, with these hybrids, it's expected na matipid sila sa gasolina. I mean, that's the whole point, right? And now with this new 2025 MG ZS Hybrid, matipid din siya as expected. It has a 1.5-liter gas engine paired with an electric motor, and we've been driving it for a while now about hills and highways. We've been getting easily 17 kilometers per liter, and if you're really in hypermiling mode, it's not unheard of to get more than 20 kilometers per liter. But been there, done that yan. Kasi hybrid yan, expected na yan. But you know what I really love about this car? The power. Because when the 1.5-liter gas is paired with the electric motor and it's at full throttle, the output combined is no less than 194 horsepower and a lot of torque. I can't remember the exact figure right now, so ganyan lang, but it's a lot. And at the price that MG is estimating that this car will come in at, which is around 1.2 to 1.3 million, it's great. And then it is not all just the power. It is also about how the chassis has been tuned to really bring out the fun of driving. If you look here, it has 50 series 18-inch tires. Now the spec, the original equipment spec is by GITI. So these are economical tires. So they're really meant for, you know, all-season tires, highway tires. They're not really the best at grip, but they're cheap to replace. And when you wear them out, just replace them with something better, like Michelin Pilot Sports. Now, the suspension, it has front struts and rear torsion beam, the usual expected from this class. But as you'll find out later, the way it is tuned, it just really brings out the best of the car. Externally, you can see that because it is basically an update on the ZS that we all know and love, the silhouette is very familiar, so it has these LED headlamps. Meron siya dito yung air intakes. Totoo ba to? Yeah, totoo siya. These air intakes actually bleed air into the brakes to help the cooling. The slatted grille feeds air into the radiator. So it's not a solid grille like a full EV because hybrid pa rin siya. And in terms of hybrids, it is actually what we'd say a series parallel hybrid. It can run on full EV mode for a certain number of kilometers before the battery needs to be charged, and then the gasoline engine will activate and recharge the battery. So let's see the engine. So here, I can see medyo nagtipid yung MG because hindi siya yung hydraulic struts. You still need a traditional strut prop bar, which is fine. So that's your gasoline engine. This is the electric motor. Ang linis pa niya because we got this unit practically new. It's about 200 kilometers old. So, yeah, pretty basic. Lots of, you've got enough space here to work with if you're a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic, pero if I was a mechanic, it would be fairly easy to service this car. Okay. All right, so you've got the familiar cockpit of the MG with some useful updates. So, start-stop button is still here. And you got some piano black and some, basically still a lot of plastic, and then this leather PVC material for the upholstery, but it's perforated so it's more breathable. Right now, this car doesn't have a moonroof because this is a demo spec, pero the Philippine-spec will have a standard moonroof with the hybrid. So you have a 7-inch instrument cluster and then a 12.3-inch touchscreen here. So I've been using it for several days now. It's easy to navigate. You have physical buttons for the stereo volume, and then, but you don't have a physical dial for the climate control. Meron ka lang on-off para sa aircon. Pero you can opt to keep one of the sub-menus open so that you can quickly access the blower and temperature. By the way, it's an automatic aircon system, pero single zone lang siya, hindi siya dual zone. I like the design of the dashboard because unlike most of the Chinese crossovers now na plain lang and then may parang tablet ka dyan, tapos na. Here, medyo inspired nga yung design because you still get an instrument binnacle for the instrument cluster. You get these nice aluminum bezels for the aircon vents. You have this little tray here to hold your phone. Soft touch material siya, para siyang simulated leather dito. And then may contrast stitching ka pa. So, very classy. Navigating is done with the touchscreen, so you just press this icon here, yung kotse, and then you can opt to choose alin sa mga features ng advanced driving ang gusto mo. Like, you can turn off the intelligent overspeed alert. Front collision assist is basically pepreno siya for you pag feel niya na babangga ka na and you weren't paying attention. I keep that off. I keep that on always. Lane departure assist, that's really up to your preference. Ako, I like to keep it off. And then rear driving assist, blind spot detection, I keep those on. Rear cross traffic alert, very useful, and also door open warning. You can also have your option to may welcome headlights ka, may follow me home, and very important, auto high beams, very useful. CarPlay niya is standard, mabilis siya mag-sync. However, I guess MG had to cut some corners here to bring down the price. So, wala kang wireless charger. So, it's still a wired charger. So, meron kang USB-C, and meron kang USB-A, and then meron ka pang cigarette lighter na outlet. So, storage here is not that roomy. So, totoo lang. The tray here is big enough for a phone and another phone here. Cup holder mo dito, hindi kasya yung malaking flask. Baka nga yung large na big gut, hindi rin kakasya eh. Console box is not very big. Yep, maliit siya. And then here, meron kang maliit na tray dito. Pero hindi siya yung usual na shelf under with the modern crossovers. I think because the transmission takes up some space. This is because it's a hybrid which uses a 3-speed transmission. It's not a CVT, it's not a DCT, it's not a single speed like with an EV. It's a 3-speed, so I guess it takes up the space here. Let's check out the back. Okay, back seat space. Nice. Okay, decent space for a 5'8". Got good headroom and legroom here. The knee height feels normal, hindi siya yung parang naka-squat. So I like it. You've got the usual aircon space. You have one USB charging port here. Dito sa gitna, it's not bad at all. An adult could sit in the middle spot for at least a short period. And wala kang foldable armrest. Yun lang. But you still get these adjustable headrests, and these seat backs can fold. So the seat backs are split 60-40. Thank you, cameraman. So when you fold them down, although you can see na medyo naka-angle siya pataas, hindi siya completely folded flat. But still good. You can't tumble the seat bottoms forward. Let's check the back. So, open. Ay, wala pala siyang power tailgate. Kasi nga naman, no, kailangan magtipid-tipid na ng konti. Otherwise, tataas na naman yung presyo. So, hindi siya power tailgate. But the actual cargo, the actual boot space is generous. We've got several of our soft bags here. So, pretty useful. And as expected, there is no spare tire. Because the space here is taken up by the battery, you get a flat tire repair kit. So enough of that utility. Yes, it's as useful as the average crossover. Now I want to talk about how great it is to drive. So let's go. I'm getting a good first impression with the driving position. So nice, fat steering wheel, shifter, parang sa aircraft throttle. Although wala kang manual modes, because why would you? Because it's only got 3 speeds. Parking brake release is over here, but weirdly, the engine mode, the drive mode button is right below the parking brake, so it's hard to access when you're driving. At titingin ka pa talaga sa baba para lang hindi mo pindot yung parking brake by mistake. Okay. So we're here in a very quiet, twisty back road where we usually test our cars. So right away, even though hindi ka pa nakatono apak dun sa accelerator, you can really feel the grunt of the drivetrain. So it's very gratifying, So it's almost like an instant on response of an EV, but not quite there yet. On the highway, I really loved the mid-range response. Let's say you're at about 80 kilometers per hour and you need to overtake. You step on the gas, even in normal mode, it just accelerates like para kang sinipa sa likod. And you have to actually be careful with the accelerator because it's front-wheel drive, and then yes, may stability control, may traction control, but it's possible to break traction for a while. And if you're not prepared for that, you might actually lose control. So yun lang. Now, one thing that I really like about this car, aside from the drivetrain, is the handling. I've driven the other MG cars in the past, the MG1, the MG GT, and the outgoing Z, the old ZS. Well, they're nice cars in general. One thing I always found lacking was the suspension tuning. Kasi they're always tuned to be soft, which is comfortable, obviously. Pero if you like to drive aggressively, they kind of come up short when you're driving fast and the road is less than perfect. As the faster you go and pag may bumpy road, medyo nagwawalo na siya, lalo na yung likod kasi torsion beam siya. So there's a bit of what do you call it, some axle hop at the back na medyo nakakasira ng line through a corner. So it will shake your confidence. So it kind of limits what you can do with the car. With this one though, yes, it still has front struts. Yes, it still has a torsion beam. Pero they've really tuned the shocks and springs in such a way na kapit siya. Body roll in corners is very manageable, very disciplined. The road here is quite bumpy, pero hindi siya yung nagwawala na. So I can actually drive pretty aggressively here and still feel totally in control. I love it. Along with good strong brakes na tinutulungan pa ng regenerative braking, this is a very sporty crossover that will probably cement its name as the crossover to buy if you want a very sporty experience. So we're here in Magallanes. I forgot the name of this road. I think it's called the East-West Road. It connects Magallanes, Cavite to Nasugbu. So a lot of twisty parts. Although sayang lang kasi may mga basag-basag talaga na portion, which is kind of disappointing for a relatively new road. I think this was only finished during the pandemic. But now, kita mo dinaanan ng mga dump truck. Medyo basag-basag na. So you have to take it easy here. But on the cleaner section, man, it's just so much fun. Ayan, no, ano na yung camera natin. So I would say at about 70% throttle right now in just normal mode. And already, I'm enjoying the performance, the power of the drivetrain. It's very responsive. And the steering is sharp. I mean, it's not BMW sharp. I mean, it's still a front-wheel drive. But hindi siya yung parang in-anesthesia yung steering. So very unlike your typical Chinese crossover. And I think that's where the MG heritage shines through. As we all know, MG, Mars Garages, was acquired by SAIC, Shanghai Auto Industry Corporation, a few years ago. So yeah, the cars are made in China, but the engineering, I guess the Europeans, the British had a say in how it drives. So I'm really loving how the car just flows through the curves and the corners here. The brakes give me confidence. The engine, I have more than enough power to have a good time. It's not a super fast crossover, but for the average owner who likes a spirited drive, this is fun. Yeehaw! So yung mga ganitong kalye, it's normal to, pick up the pace, pero still you need to be you still need to look far up ahead for impending obstacles like tumatawid na aso, mga siklista, or like sudden road cuts and biglang mga rough road section na to. There's like 20 meters pero you have to take it really slow. So here, the ground clearance of the ZS really comes in handy. And now we have a fairly long uphill climb here, so we'll just try to go flat out and see how it goes. So here, the limiter here is the traction of the tire. So medyo nadudula siya, nag-understeer na. I'm flat out and we are still accelerating, parang aeroplano. Wow. I need to actually slow down a bit, not get too excited because may mga blind spots dito. And I don't want to get in an accident, especially it's not my car. Baka hindi na ako pahiramin ulit MG eh. So, long downhill. So, like I said, the limiter here is the traction of the tires. Medyo dumudulas-dulas na. But still very controllable. Just don't panic. So, ang ganda ng labas ng kali na to eh. Kasi diretso to. Paglabas mo dito, nasa may Nasugbu ka na. And then I think Pico del Oro, Punta Fuego area. Sarap yung lomi doon. So, I also bike here actually. So this is the part where you call it Red Rocks. So if you see there, up there on the horizon, that's actually that long straight leading up to Nasugbu. So here, this is why I'm telling you, guy, whoop! Sorry. You have to be careful kasi nga may mga blind spots. And then biglang nagiging one lane. So you need to suddenly slow down and give way. So, yeah, hindi ka pwedeng basta-bastang kaskasero dito. Have fun, but be cautious. So, blind curve again. Ayan, may truck oh. Oh, kumain pa siya sa lane ko. Galing! Toyota drivers. Joke lang, joke lang. So, this is what they call the Red Rock. So, madalas dito nagkaka-landslide. So, caution dito palagi. And don't loiter here. Kasi, baka matimihan ka, matama ka talaga ng mga bato na yan. Wasak ang kotse mo. And also here, you have to be careful going down because the clay makes the cement slippery. So don't linger in that area. Get out of there as quickly and safely as possible. So one thing pala that I haven't mentioned yet is, okay, so they made a chassis that matches the potential of the drivetrain. The tires are something you might want to upgrade for something stickier. But one thing that you probably can't upgrade easily are the seats. The seats are comfortable for all-day touring, but for aggressive driving, they kind of lack the side bolsters to grip you in place like you would in a BMW, which obviously costs like 3 times as much. So when you're going left, right, you tend to be shifting around a bit in the seat. At least in the torso. Dun sa baba, hindi naman sa may puwet, sa may thigh area. Okay lang. Dito lang talaga. So you kind of need to be bracing yourself with the door panel, with the console. So that's only one shortcoming that I can think of with the driving position. So if you ask me who is the MG ZS Hybrid for, well, that's an easy answer. People who want a fun to drive crossover that's quick, handles really well, and want to spend as little as possible on gas. Kasi even though medyo umuupak ako, I'm still getting 17 kilometers to a liter. I mean, how can you beat that kind of proposition? So with this kind of car, you basically have your cake and eat it too. MG has really nailed that proposition of making a fast, fun to drive crossover that appeals to drivers who love a sweet handling car that is still actually useful because it's a crossover, so papayagan ka ng asawa mo bilhin to, di ba? Not knowing na ang performance is actually at the level or nearly at the level of a performance car from maybe 10 years ago. So good job, MG. Really, hats off to you. This is probably my performance crossover, my affordable performance crossover of the year already. Wow! I can't recall having this much fun with a crossover, especially an affordable crossover. Guys, the new MG ZS Hybrid has everything you want. Matipid siya sa gas, malakas, fantastic chassis. All you need to do is upgrade the tires when you wear them out. And you've got a lot of standard features, all at the price that ang hirap i-contest yung presyo niya. So basically, fantastic job, MG. Thank you for making a driver's crossover. Finally, something I would actually pine for. Okay, now it's time to give our overall ratings. Performance, easy 10. Styling, medyo familiar na yung silhouette. Some upgrades here. You'd have to be you have to have an eagle eye to see the differences. So we'll just give it an 8.5. Utility. Of course, it has a folding seats and all of that, may roof rails and all of that, but you medyo nothing special siya on the utility side. So I'll just give it an 8. Value for money, has advanced driving aids, it has a fantastic drivetrain, good interior, lots of decent space. Value for money, I'll give it an 8.5. As for the overall, when you consider what you get for the money, all that power, all that refined chassis, the styling, the features, I'll have to give it a 9.5. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments about this first ride review. Now, for the long written review, please visit our website at www.ridebuyph/garage. See you!